Hi everyone, I am Casey and welcome to my YouTube channel. I have to say I'm so excited to share with you some of my favorite perfumes that have me thinking literally, you are all living in my world. The minute this perfume literally hits my skin, I'm like, don't talk to me the same way. Don't do that. Okay, so first pick, I have them all laid out in front of me. So first one is Ishq Al Shuyukh, right? This is supposed to be a dupe. I hate to use dupe because you know what? Sometimes we have to appreciate the perfume as what it is, but this is an inspiration. Let's say that an inspiration of Rosendo Matteo number 5. I've never smelled that perfume, but I looked at the notes actually, and they said Rosendo Matteo and Baby Cat were supposed to be somewhat similar. And I had smelled Baby Cat before and fallen in love with it during the winter. That's a whole story in its own. But anyway, so I went on a whim, and this is when this was so hard to get. I remember. And I think I got it something like €50, but you can definitely get it for cheaper now. And it's one of my favorite, but I will say it's a beast. It's powdery, but I feel like it's more dusty than powdery. Powdery being like, you can literally feel the powder, but the dusty is kind of like atmospheric. So that's how I'm differentiating the notes. It's a little bit metallic, it's sweet. I actually wore this one time with some other perfume. I forgot what it was. I blended the two together and I was in work. My colleague at the time comes up to me and she goes, "What is it you're wearing?" At first she was like, "It's you." And I'm like, what do you mean it's you? Because I just came for a meeting. And she was like, "What are you wearing?" Because the minute you walk into the room, I can feel the sillage, I can smell the perfume after you. And this is the first time I've ever gotten a compliment like that. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And anyway, so so I was like, "Okay, which one are you smelling?" Because one thing about me, is I love my perfume so much that I don't even think about what works with what. I just be like, I want to wear this, I want to wear this, I want to wear this. So that's what I did that morning. So I was trying to understand what is it that she's smelling. And lucky enough, I think I had no, actually I hadn't brought it. So I was trying to get her just to describe the perfume for me. And this is honestly no hate. It is what it is. But sometimes if you're not really into perfumes, I really find that people find it really hard to know what it is they're smelling. They just know it's good. And so that's what she was like. And I was like, okay, is it bitter? Is it like this? And I think actually I might have worn Riffica, which is the proper Baby Cat dupe. We'll talk about that in another time. But anyway, she was like to me, "Oh, it's atmospheric or whatever." And that is the first time I understood how beast mode this thing is. I had only put on 2 perfumes. I brought it in the next morning because she really wanted to know what she was. And she was like, "I've never smelled anything like this before." And I will say it has suede in it. It's metallic. It has vanilla, but the vanilla isn't gourmand vanilla. It's sweet, but it kind of rounds off the fragrance. I'm honestly not going to go too much into notes in this video. I'm just going to talk about what it is that I love about the perfume. So yeah, that's kind of the scent profile you're thinking of. Now, if you know Riffica or you smell Baby Cat and you're like, "Oh, will I like this?" I will tell you upfront, this is not what you think it is. This is not what you think it is. And you know what? I've tried so many times to be like, "Oh, maybe I can smell the sameness," but I can't. I will tell you the truth. The vanilla in Riffica is much sweeter. In Baby Cat, from what I remember now, I smelt it once, a year and a half ago, and I haven't been able to find it since. Baby Cat, I mean. And my nose has matured so much since then, so I actually don't know what was what. But from what I remember from Baby Cat, it was a lot more leathery. It was sweet, but it wasn't that sweet. But Riffica is very, very sweet, I find. I love it still, but it's very sweet and it's very incensey. What kind of incense? I actually don't know what kind of incense. Maybe I'll look at the notes later on, but I'm just going out. Anyways, it is what it is. But this one doesn't have the incense. This does have the leather that Baby Cat has, but Baby Cat has a more the leather is there. It's a little bit sharper. It feels like, what kind of suede is it? It feels like a leather bag kind of suede. It's not like you can smell the suede. This one, it's there, it's strong, but the suede is a little bit softer, and I think it comes off because of that dusty feeling of the atmospheric dust and whatever. The texture is completely different. Oh, anyways, I could go on about this, but one thing about this, 1 or 2 perfumes is sprays is all you need. I wore this 2 days ago, and I mixed it with Baby Cat and Nasheet, and I will say this dominated, even if it was only two sprays. It's the only thing. Well, I could smell the little whiffs of Baby Cat and Nasheet, but by the minute I was coming home, this is the only thing I could smell. When I got home, I sprayed it on my skin. When I got home, the next morning, I could still smell this. So it is what it is. Anyways, enough about, this is Ishq Al Shuyukh by Lattafa. It's from the Pride section. Okay, since we already talked about it, like, let's bring it out. Nasheet. Oh my God. And I will say, right, this is one of those, this is like, you need to, like, you see these things about these perfumes I'm going to show you. You need to know yourself. Like, that's how I feel. And that's why I feel like it really brings me to my higher self. Like, I feel expensive. I feel qualified. I feel, you know, like I just, like, you're all living in my world. I said it before and I'll say it again. But anyways, this is Nasheet. Now, Nasheet has some, let me spray here. I know this is so bad, but I do this because I don't have any blotters in my house. And sometimes I just love playing with my perfumes. So I love picking up the cap instead of like spraying it in the room. But this has some herbal notes. This has vanilla. This has, I feel like it has patchouli, but I'm not sure. I think the patchouli might be due to the herbal notes. I should have probably brought out the notes somewhere, but you know what, like, we'll just have chats. Let's do that. Let's have chats. Yeah, so it's herbal, it's vanillic, but it's not, again, it's not a gourmand vanilla. I've heard the girls calling it hotel vanilla. Did I say that right? The girls on TikTok, not the girls I know. But yeah, and you know, I will be honest with you, the first time I tried this on, in store, and I didn't like it. I thought the herbal notes and whatever was going on, it really kind of like sits here. It is a statement maker. It is like, I hate putting gender on perfumes, but this, I do think this is unisex. And you know, when I say that, I purely mean characteristics of the perfume, because you know, everything has feminine and masculine. That's what I believe. But like this particularly, it, like, if you're not used, and it has amber as well, so if you're not really used to amber perfumes, if you're really used to like sweet perfumes that are, you know, easy to sit down on and aren't that complex, you will have a hard time with this. And that's what happened to me the first time. And I remember I smelling it, I was like, oh, those herbal notes, like, what are they doing? And then, like, so the whole day I didn't like it. But then I kept on thinking about it, and I think it was the appeal of the complexness of the perfume, and I just knew no one was gonna smell like me. So, like the dumbass I am, I went and bought it. And it's the love of my life. There's never been a time I've sprayed this on and someone hasn't said a compliment to me, or hasn't said you look lovely, you smell, yeah, I do. Not me complimenting myself, but you get what I mean. Like they never, like, the compliment is always there, but it is definitely like masculine. And I say masculine because the characteristics, it's not sweet, it's amber. Amber to me, I always like see it as a more like, you know, suit and tie type thing. Like, oh, you know, I'm grounded, I have money, I'm financially, I don't know what it is, but yeah, so it's very much to that side. Like if my partner wore this, I would love it. If, you know, like, but I also feel like anyone can pull it off if you know who you are and you know what you like. But yeah, this is definitely expensive smelling. If I had, like, do you know what? When I first got into my fragrance journey and I wanted to find, like, I think this is the collection that I initially wanted, the one I'm looking at now and I'm going to share with you guys. I wanted perfume that smelled like, do you know in Insecure, I never know anyone's name, but what's the main girl's best friend, the one who's a lawyer? I knew that that's my style, but I just didn't know what perfume she would wear. And I always ask, you know, the TikTok girlies, like, what would she wear? Like, I want what she would wear. And I will tell you now, I think this collection, and definitely she would wear this. Definitely she would wear this. Being Mary Jane would wear this. Like, yeah. But yeah, it's amberic. But if you don't, like, I really think that if you're gonna buy this, you need to get used to herbal notes. Like, you really need to get used to, like, smelling aromatic, not smelling super sweet, kind of leaning onto, like, the whole, imagine a guy with a cigar with whiskey, like the type of girl that orders whiskey in the rocks. Is that what you call it? Whatever it is. But you get what I mean. Like, but I will say the one thing I hate about this perfume is longevity. Like, I know, and you've heard this so many times. It's so beautifully blended as well. But I know you've heard this like multiple times, but the longevity is crap, to say it the least. Like, it's 4 to 6 hours. And I commute a lot. I live down in the countryside. So like, I find, well, it's not really the countryside, but still, it's normally to get anywhere I'm trying to get, it's an hour away. So I feel like, what's the point if you're not going to get the projection? Like, what's the point? And it definitely doesn't leave sillage, but I think actually it does have an up close personal sense. Because I'm thinking a couple of weeks ago, I went to a dinner. I think I put it on at like 6 o'clock. We didn't get to the party until 8, 9, 10, 11. I was getting compliments. I think compliments stopped at 11. Yeah, so everyone who hugged me had something to say about this. But again, the longevity is crap. And here's what I've been thinking. I have heard that there's a better clone or a better inspiration of, it's by Nishani Ani, by the way. That's the inspiration is from. I haven't smelled that perfume. I haven't been able to find it. But I heard Ghost Spectre is supposed to be a much longer lasting perfume. And, you know, like, yeah, so I have been thinking about it, but like, I have such a big collection now and I love what I have now, but I'm also trying to like try different things. And like, that's how I want diversity in my collection. And this is only broken because of the performance. And yeah, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to give it away and get Ghost Spectre, because that's also like 50 euro. I don't know, like, I really don't know. So I'm sitting on that decision, but I do like it. It's just the longevity, and I don't have the little travel sets, and they, quite honestly, they annoy me because I want to see my bottle. I want to see my bottle when I'm putting it on, you know, like, I'm that girl. Okay. So we're just gonna go with so these fragrances tend to be like very wintry, cold weather, you know, dinner, night fragrances. I will say they're not really daytime fragrances. So we'll just go with the same theme and the black and gold, right? If you don't know, that's all I wear is gold. So next perfume is one of my favorites. Oh my God, I could never explain to you. And this is like, I will say, like, these perfumes I'm showing you are not easy to love. Like, they're really not easy to love. I don't think so. Like, I definitely think if you were to spray them on, people can recognize it smells good, but I don't know that everybody would have the same confidence to wear them. That's period. And they're very, like, I will say they're unisex, borderline kind of masculine leaning. I'm just saying that with, you know, with the mind of characteristics. Just a little bit insight what I mean when I say that. I see feminine fragrances as a little bit more fluffy, a little bit more subtle or sweet, powdery, floral, like that kind of, for me personally. But when I say like masculine leaning, I mean like aromatic, I mean green, not particularly sweet, more woody, more patchouli, more amber, like those kind of things. And I tend to find that my collection really leans more masculine than it does sweet. I do love gourmand scents, and that's the only part of feminine perfumes that I tend to see that I like. And loads of my friends say this about me all the time. Like, I would definitely lean to, you know, masculine leaning perfumes. But again, it's all a spectrum. That's what I believe anyways. It's all a spectrum. There's no one or the other. I think they all, you know, unisex, masculine, it's all just a way of describing characteristics. I know I'm just going on a rant about this, but like, I'm passionate about it, and I really don't think anyone can tell you what to wear. Like, I wear whatever I like. If I like what it smells like, it is what it is. If my man wants to wear whatever he wants, I probably will love it on him until unless he doesn't like it. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of person. So anyway, off that rant. Anyways, Noir de Noir. This is like, if you thought the ones we were talking about were my fancy, like whatever, this is the bad bitch unlocked. Like, this is you've reached bad bitch mode. And I've actually coded this perfume because I wear it specifically when I feel like I have an impossible task in front of me. Sorry, I'm looking outside and I think it's raining. But anyway, I've had impossible weeks that I just felt like regular me couldn't show up and do the same job. So I just had to like dissociate from what, you know, regular me is scared of and what she does, and just kind of like pretend I'm a higher power, like reach spiritual level bad bitch, like honestly. And what does this smell like? So this is like, this is that stereotypical like red rose that you find in Middle Eastern fragrances and oud fragrances. That's the kind of red. And then you have like this undertone. You can really taste the chocolate and the wine, like a red wine. And by the way, that is my personality. Red wine, I'm a red wine girly. Like, that is who I am through and through. So to me, I feel like this is honestly who, in every time, like, I don't know why, I'm such a crier as well, but like any time of my life, even before I even found this fragrance, I find like I definitely like, it just encapsulates a lot of the, and it's such a dark patchouli heavy. So if you don't like patchouli, I don't think you will like this. I will be honest, I don't really like patchouli all the time, but this one is, it's well blended, but the patchouli is there. You know what I mean? The patchouli is there. The red rose. So I would think the wine and the patchouli is leading, and then the red rose is doing soprano, because, you know, I always feel like you can hear like sopranos right through, and then yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, well, so patchouli and the chocolate is in the base, it's doing blah blah. Yeah, that's what I think bases sound like. But yeah, so it's beautiful. But anytime, I feel like it just really encapsulates a lot of the notes that I really value, and that literally give me comfort in all parts of my life, like wine, dark chocolate. Yeah, the chocolate is dark. Red roses, just, I don't know, it just feels like me. It just feels like me. So yeah, this is one of my faves. And by the way, this is the least worn fragrance in my perfume collection. I'm looking back, I put my perfumes right over there, but I actually had a small 30 ml of this, and I had to upgrade, like, and it's not that I overused it, but I just love it so much. And I actually never regret getting the 30 ml, because I actually get what the girlies say when they say you can bring it around and stuff. I don't think getting a bigger size has made my life any better. Let me put it that way. Staying on the roses. Shall we? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll skip on that one and go to this one second, right? So this one is Barakat Satin Oud. Okay, this one has a story. Do you see how dark this juice is? Do you see how dark it is? Yeah. When I got this was like navy blue, see-through. And it was dusty, less powdery, more dusty, like different dusty to this one. Like it was literally, it just smelled like dust. And you know, like when you can feel the particles, like it was like that. It was uneven. It smelled like soap, and I hate the smell of soap in perfumes particularly. And I remember, like, because here where I stay, we don't really have a lot of like, there's no big fragrance community, so we actually don't, there's only a couple of places that sell niche perfumes. Actually, one store I know. I'm still looking for the rest, but yeah. So I normally had to like travel and smell in like airports and stuff like that. Or just, I remember when I went to Zurich, that's where I smelled most of, you know, the designer stuff that I had been waiting to smell. And I remember at that time, I think it was September, October, that I smelt it, and I had gotten mine, say, August. Yeah, August. So it hadn't matured. But I remember when I got back in October, it smelled much better. The longevity was crazy, but it's like, I mean, it's nowhere compared to where it is now. And honestly, I'm terrified that it will keep on maturing. This perfume is intoxicating. If this and two were to go head to head in terms of longevity, this wins. I dare to say this is the most longest lasting perfume I have, and projecting perfume, longer than Shaghaf. And you know that's saying a lot. And you know, when I was looking to buy this, there's Ministry of Oud, there's all these other like fragrances that smell close, and people kept on saying like, this is beast mode, but like the other ones are well blended. And I actually never knew what they meant, because I think this took 4 months to mature. And by the time I was in Zurich in September and I was smelling with Satin Mood, it smelled nothing like what I had at home. I'll be honest with you. So this is definitely something you have to let sit, maybe 4 months, 3 months, if I remember well. But anyways, it lasts like crazy, but now it's so pungent that I can't stand to wear it the minute I'm leaving the house. And it's one of my favorite perfumes. So it's like, it really hurts me. But the opening is just so harsh and so strong. Like, I can't handle it. So what I'm gonna, and loads of people said like, spray your clothes before you leave. But I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna spray this on my skin ever again, just because it's so strong. And I'm a last minute girly. Like, I'm not gonna remember to spray my clothes before I leave the house. I know myself. I'm the type to spray as I go. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really love it, but I just wish that it wasn't like that. But I love the longevity. One thing about me, I love beast mode. And I know that everybody's like, oh, beast mode is not for every situation. Like, it's true. But I don't leave the house that often. In work, I would spray one spray tops, or even a minuscule, like on my wrist tops or in the back of my neck. You can't do this in front, because you won't go nose blind, but it will destroy your nostrils, because that is all you will smell. But yeah, I love this. So this smells like rose. So this rose is a lot different to the rose you smell in Club de Nuit Intense. This is more of, I like to think it's like more of a Bulgarian rose. It's powdery. Now it's not dusty, it's better blended, but just because of the longevity, I think it's very sharp. So I hope you understand, like, it's sharp at the beginning, but it's actually quite well blended. It's just the strength that makes it sharp at the beginning. There's no patchouli in this. There's vanilla, if I smell that right, and there's oud. But the oud isn't how do I explain the oud? The oud isn't skanky, it isn't inky, it isn't medicinal. It's smooth. It's not, actually, let me smell. It's not like the one here, because I feel like the one here is much stronger, but the oud here, like, it just makes it woody and smooth and rounded. Like, I actually, like, I feel like it's kind of like what I imagine sandalwood to smell like. I say imagine because, like, I always find like sandalwood doesn't smell what I think it will. But you know that, like, that smooth, suede-ish, the color of it, like, that's what I imagine this oud to smell like. It's not strong, it's not appeasing. I do think it's easy to wear, and I think it's actually quite unisex, but I just think of the sweetness, like, loads of people might find this to be overwhelming. Compared to the original, as far as I remember, I think the last time I smelled a OG, I hadn't smelled this one in a long time. But from what I remember, I think the sharpness is what sets it off. But I actually think in the mid and near to the end, they smell quite similar. But, like, I think up until 2-3 hours in, when the sharpness is gone, it's 80, and then it goes 85, 90, and then 99. That's how I see it. But it's one of my faves. Oh my god, it's just that the lunch. I'm honestly terrified that it's gonna keep maturing. I feel like I have to go faster because we're at 30 minutes, and I won't lie. Okay. Yeah, we'll stay with the rose, and so this one is French Portrait. When I was going to buy, and yeah, this will show you why you shouldn't do what I do, which is like spray the cap, because you can see the silver is literally you can see that the silver is shedding on the cap. But will that change me? No, it is what it is. It's my bottle, so I can do whatever I want. But anyways, yeah, French Portrait, when I got it, I think there were only 2 reviews. I had been thinking about it for a long time, particularly because I had smelled Portrait of a Lady and I loved that perfume. So I read this one, I think he's an Irish YouTuber as well. It was a really old video and he was like, oh, you know, like this smells like if, I thought this was a horrible analogy. But it is what it is. He actually got the point across. There's no minute that I don't think about that analogy. But he basically said, imagine you had a wife who's sophisticated, she's classy, she's well-rounded, like she knows herself, all this kind of thing. But then you meet like a younger girl who's a little bit more fun, a little bit more playful, but she's exactly what your, you know, what your well-knowledged, well-lived woman is like. And honestly, I hate to say it, but I actually understand what he means. If I think it's the age and the body of the perfume, right? It's everything is almost the same. It's the texture and the layers and the complexity. That's the way I would explain. Because do you know what? French Portrait of a Lady is much more deeper. It's I always find like you wouldn't like, unless it's winter, you wouldn't think about wearing it during the day. Like it'll be a hard one to wear during the winter in high heat. And it's definitely like a woman who knows herself, maybe in her 40s. Like that's how I wear that. I will never shy away from that. But I'm just trying to like paint a picture here. And it's definitely, actually, no, I was going to say it's a lot more unisex, but actually that doesn't matter here. There's no, like, it is a lot more woody and a lot more oody. At the bottom, it's deeper, like really deep and, you know, grounded. Like it's like a bowl, right? And this one is more like, she's cute. Like I wear this high heat, cold heat. The patchouli leads for sure. The red rose is beautiful. It's the typical Middle Eastern red rose that you would find in here as well. Oh, sorry, in here. But yeah, so it's much lighter, but everything is there. Like it doesn't flop when it comes to quality. It doesn't smell synthetic, badly blended. It smells expensive. It's just not as complex. You just don't get and you know what? Like if you start to smell inspiration, like Middle Eastern inspirations and the what they're inspired from, like the niche fragrances, this is not for all, you know, niche, but this is what I'm starting to see. Like they tend to be a little bit more thinner. They tend to like focus on 1 or 2, 3 specific notes and then less body to say. So I think that's what happens here. But this is the love of my life. And I saw another YouTuber say that this lasted 12 hours and he did not lie. I haven't seen a lot of people like talk about this, but yeah, this is beautiful. This is fucking beautiful. And actually, okay, do you want me to do, we might as well. I have another fragrance in there called, I don't know where I put it. Oh, no, it's not Ser Al Shuyukh. Yeah, I hope I'm saying Ser Al Shuyukh. I hope I'm saying that right. And it's by Swiss Arabian. It has the same. So if you wanted to know, okay, let me teach you something. If you wanted to know what this smells like, right? If you go and smell Portrait of a Lady, take away the woods, pitch it up, make it fresher. This is like the more, you know, wearable, the light, summery, make it fresher, make it lead the patchouli a little bit at the front, but like not completely, but like the identity is there. You know, the identity there. These are sisters. Like this is, you know, Portrait of the Lady, the older sister. This one is the younger one. She's like 18 and the other one is like maybe 30, you know? And then if you want to know what also Rose d'Arabie, those, but anyways, you know what I'm saying, by Armani. It has that same red rose note. And if you like the opening of Rose d'Arabie, like you will love this. I feel like it holds onto those, like that patchouli and that rose you feel at the beginning, and it just holds it all the way through. And this has oud, but the oud is more inky than anything. It's not like that smooth, you know, not that smooth. I always imagine it like tonkery, because maybe that's what they always put it with, like vanilla, but it's not like that. It's more like inky and whatever. Like, it's beautiful. Yeah, so if you, and Sarah Sheila is 1-to-1 to that. So yeah, if you like the opening, it doesn't go subdued and go the other way. No, it just holds on to the top notes and kind of drags it out. I hope that helps you understand that. Okay, 30 minutes. I can talk. One thing about me is I am a yappity yapper. Okay, this Shaghaf Oud. This was one of the first testers. When I first started getting to Middle Eastern, I got some testers in. And this, I don't know what was wrong with the tester I first got, but it didn't smell, like I couldn't smell the chocolate. Well, I imagine, I can smell chocolate in this. I couldn't smell the caramel. I couldn't smell like that vanillic. I couldn't smell that sweetness. Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I don't know what it was. I think it was this one night I was like trying it on a night out, and I just put 1 or 2 perfumes, and I was like, sprays, and then I started smelling that chocolate. I then started smelling the sweetness, but it was still subdued. It's nowhere like it is now. And then I got this. And at that time, like my sister, I always tell my sister, like, don't buy perfumes, because like I have too many at home, but I do get too attached sometimes. I'm like, I don't want you to I don't want you to put that on. Like, that's mine. I want to smell like that. I want to be unique. But anyway, so I tell her to take it, and it's a great way to also like kind of like smell what the projection and all that kind of stuff and the sillage is like. The one time she wore this 2 times, and I was like, I need my bottle back, because girls, well, I don't know, sorry. I would say girls, but what you call it, like when I tell you she sprayed 1 or 2 perfumes, and it's the only, she filled up the taxi, she filled up like the room. She's the only thing I could smell on that night out. Like I could smell her like, you know, an arm's length away or 2. Like I could smell it, like it's just surrounding her. And it's, to me, like, it's actually, because it's so sweet and it's so sweet and so caramelly, it's so pleasant. Like it makes your mouth water a little bit. So I love it. People say it smells like Oud Bouquet by Lancome. I've smelled that, not on my skin, I will say, but like I've gone in and tried to smell that multiple times. I just don't see what people are seeing. I will say that maybe that first test strip that I got, that first sample that I got, the first opening was Oud Bouquet, but ever since I just haven't smelled the same. And then the second time I wore this, we met in town after she had finished work, and she said to me she sprayed 1 or 2 2 sprays. Like at 7-8 p.m. since 6-7 a.m. Exactly, get it? Like this, I feel like, and I don't think I'm ever, in my lifetime, with the amount of bottles I have and how much I love fragrance, I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of this. Actually, I will say I found it, I think when I bought this, it was €40. But when I saw it for €17, and I said, you know what, I don't think I'm ever gonna give this to my sister again, but just because like I love it so much, and I love smelling my bottles at home sometimes, but I had to get her, I had to get her one, because this is her favorite fragrance she has. So yeah. And then staying on Rose and Oud. Oh my God. Like I feel like this is so polarizing. Like these 2 are so polarizing. And I remember when I first got this, people were like, oh, it smells like Atomic Rose. And I remember this is the turning point of me falling in love with fragrances. I remember I was at this party, and this girl, like we were, you know, everybody's dancing, like everybody's rubbing bodies, and I just smelled a little, and I was like, is that you? And I smelled, and she was wearing Atomic Rose. Now, I don't remember what it smelled like, but I just knew that was gonna be the love of my life. And so anyways, so when I got this, at the time, people were like, oh, it smells like Atomic Rose, comparing it to, like, don't do that, don't. Because I knew it didn't smell like Atomic Rose, because it was the minute I went and smelled Badee Al Oud Amethyst. I actually haven't smelled Oud for Glory, or I have smelled Atomic Rose, but I kind of forgot what that smells like. But like, Yeah, but I remember when I smelled those two, they didn't smell alike. And then when I smelled Badee Al Oud and I smelled this, and I was like, are they not the same thing? Because they are. It literally just has rose. And I will be honest, like the rose isn't that strong to me anyways. It isn't strong enough to be like, oh, it's to make it feminine. I think it just is for rose lovers. But I will say, like, the type of oud in here is metallic. If you don't like metallic oud, you won't like this. And I feel like that's what people say, it's sharp and synthetic because of that note. Hey, I'm not here to diss what other people's noses. It's really interesting. I always love fragrances and I go smell them with my friends because it's so interesting. We come off smelling two completely different things. Like it's so interesting. So it's not so much of a diss to them, but if you didn't like Ajwa, you wouldn't like. Actually, I didn't like Ajwa, but I didn't like Ajwa because it was trying to be subtle, but it was also metallic. But this one is trying to make a statement. The rose is there, but it's more like a body, like an idea, and then you have the metallicness punching through of the oud, and I do feel like it does have that winey smell, but it's not like as strong as this. It's just like, but I love this. This literally makes me feel like a princess. I have worn this like at the end of summer. To me personally, I can wear any time of the year, but I do think like, okay, that opening, that sharpness, that metallicness can make it smell synthetic, and I think that's what people smell. But to me, I love it, and again, no one's gonna tell me what to do. It's my money. And that's what you should be doing. Like, don't even listen to me. Go smell them and go sample them. Like, honestly, what I tend to do, because I know I don't have the money to be buying all the time or sampling little samples, because I don't know, I just can't justify it. It's so silly. But I do go in store and I try it on my hand. I bring a little blotter in my bag just to see like the projection, like how it lasts. Anyway, next fragrance. Oh my god! Oh, I forgot one more. Anyway, we'll get there. I'll go pick out one. But Velvet Gold by Orientica. This I love. It smells like gentle fluidity gold, but they're similar, but like when I smell gentle fluidity gold, I didn't think, my scent memory didn't go here. And that's no shade. I think it's just the texture of the perfumes are completely different. I find gentle fluidity gold is more watery and not watery like splash watery, but like body of water, if you get me. And then this one is more like powdery. And I feel like the juniper berries, like, you know what? It's the first time I understood what juniper berries smell like. Because people say, roses, vanilla, and all those kind of perfumes smell similar to this. I don't think that. And I think it's because of that juniper berry note. It really kind of leads. But here, it's there, it's singing. But it's singing like softly in the background. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it projects, it lasts. Like, I think it lasts. Oh, I didn't even say the lasting power. Babes, this 8 to 10 hours onwards, even 12. This one, I told you already. I described it to you. Is there any other ones I forgot? This is, 12 hours. I don't know. Sorry, I kept on forgetting. But this, I feel like it's more 8 hours. I haven't had a long wear because I don't always feel like my outfit goes with this. Actually, no, I didn't wear that one. But yeah, I love it. I just haven't worn it as much. It doesn't smell like rose vanilla. Okay, maybe if your nose hasn't matured and you're not in love with roses vanilla, like I'm lying. I'm actually lying, because roses vanilla and this, I smelled it on the same day and my nose hadn't matured that far. But yeah, they didn't smell the same to me. I will say, and don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, but what's the Gentle Gold by Barakat? I had a sample of that. I still have it. And I found that that's closer in texture and the juniper berry pushing than this. So if you're asking me, I honestly see this as a more like 90% close, but it's still nice. It's still expensive. But if you want that watery notes, that kind of like very feminine kind of like, I feel like this one, like I feel like a man could wear this, like if you know if yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, like I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't like that I said that. I'm just gonna be honest. But I feel like, you know, like if you like traditionally like woody scents, but like you don't like sweet stuff and you like powdery stuff, I think you would like this. I'll say it that way. I think you would love this. I really think you would love this. I don't think like, yeah, I think anybody could wear this. I think anybody could wear this. Unless like maybe you only like fresh blue notes and stuff. I think, but it's not an easy blind buy just because of the powderiness and just because of like, it's not fluffy. Let's get that right. It's not fluffy, but gentle gold I find is much closer. And people say it doesn't last that long, but I will be honest, like I found like that, and I had a sample, and I find like samples behave much different to in, you know, performance than the real thing. But like that, it matured, and by the end of that, it was lasting me 6 to 8 hours, 8 hours. Like, and I was actually very happy with that because that's the kind of scent you're getting. Like, I love it. And then, oh my gosh, the new love of my life. This was, I have been thinking about getting this perfume for a long time. This Rose 01 by Swiss Arabian. I've been thinking about getting this perfume for a long time. I remember when I first smelled Delina, I hated it. And I hated it because I could smell the incense. I actually wondered whether I smelled exclusive first. And it was the bitterness. And then I went and smelled Souvenir Rose Bouquet. Is that by Lattafa, or, you know, the one with the white and the gold little rose at the top? I went and smelled that and I hated the bitterness, I won't lie. And you know what? The bitterness there is much stronger than in the original Delina. But once I got this, and it's strong. It's strong. All of these here are strong. Like, they perform. They don't slack around. If you're not comfortable with people having an opinion about what you're wearing, then don't wear these. I'm gonna be honest, except for Nasheet. But like, again, if you don't like people being like, what is that? Don't. You, like, especially if you're shy on that day, I sometimes get, I can't, don't talk to me like that. Like, I would overthink. But anyway, this one is, I wore it and I think I underestimated how, because I've fallen in love with the bergamot note, and I'm actually looking for perfumes that have that same note in the opening. But yeah, it's like this with Delina. I don't want to lie to you. I was wearing it. I found Delina in the store. I went and sprayed it. I couldn't tell the difference. I couldn't smell the difference. I could, like, 1 to 1. I don't want to lie to anybody in this room. Yeah, 1 to 1. 1 to 1. It's one of my favorites. Like, if you can smell Delina, it's pink rose. It has this aquatic fresh, but it has incense and it has like that green note. And I don't think it's bergamot. Like, maybe it is, I don't know what bergamot is, and I've been trying to figure out what that note is. But yeah, and then, oh, I forgot, I keep forgetting perfumes in the set. Like, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do I have to pick? Okay. Then I have 2 more that I love. One is, let me go get them. Oh my God, I think I lost the other one. That's crazy. And that's one of my favorites. Maybe I packed it somewhere and, yeah, but it's Junoon Oud, essentially. And it's one of my favorite. It's kumquat, it's powdery. It's not powdery, actually, it's fluffy. It just fills the room. Every time I've worn that, people have been like, what is it? To me, I imagine myself wearing pink and being girly and being a princess and just like, you know, floating around the place. Like, yeah, that's me in that. This to me channels like, I don't know, it just channels pretty but knowledgeable. Like, you know, like those girls that go for brunch but are like super smart and businessy, but also like they just know how to have fun, but you know, like, work isn't everything. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyways, this is the other one that, and you know what, I got this because I had smelt the Fragrance World version, what is it, of Santal 33. Damn. But anyways, I had smelled that and I fell in love with it. And I will say that one, I'm thinking of getting it because I actually don't think this is doing the justice. I'll put it on now actually. I don't think this is doing the justice. It does smell like pickles. It smells like Santal 33. Remove the woods and the heaviness and, you know, the deepness. This is more like I can wear this anytime, any place. It's like it does what this does to a portrait of a lady. It just brings it a notch higher. Like if Santal 33 was singing like, oh, this is singing, oh, like, you get me? Like it's brighter. It's a little bit sweeter actually, and fruitier. But I will say, like, the one from Fragrance World, I fell in love with. You know why? Because like it has the same bitterness as this, because this one is more like, it's less sharp, it's more well-rounded, but it's not as fresh as, you know, that bergamot note in this, and that is what I love about it. So, and it's not to say there's no beef on this. I still love it. It's well-rounded. It's, you know, but I just love the bitterness. I love the bitterness, and I don't want to know what it is. I actually found that note calmed me down when I was like really, I was like really stressed and stuff, and I just found like that particular note just soothed me a lot, that bitterness. So I am looking to have it just like as a comfort, which is strange for me, but yeah. And this lasts, like, this is 8 hours plus as well. It's no slacker. Like, again, all these fragrances I have here, except for this one, I spray like 12 sprays to 15, but the rest of them is 2 to 3, 5 max. But I wouldn't even try 5. This one I might try 5, but the rest of them I wouldn't try 5. So I hope you enjoyed our little chat today. I know it's so long, but I really hope that you enjoyed it, and please stay tuned, and we'll have some more chats later. Hopefully I'll bring some fragrance notes and we can actually talk about like what's in the fragrance and, you know, the stuff that I'm smelling, and get into details. And this is very long. I don't know if anybody even watches anything this long.